Commission incoming. Connected.
Welcome. This is episode 14 of Rogue and Blaster podcast. Thanks very much for joining us. So today we'll be tackling some grimdark Would You Rather, which are getting grimmer and darker by the week, thanks to Konnor.
You're welcome.
Stick around to the end to see who we're pitching in our Who Would Win. This week, we're basically just going to have a catch-up with the delightful and wonderful Konnor and myself. Yay, because we're the best ones anyway.
Everybody else has a life, and apparently we don't.
Yeah.
Over Christmas.
Yeah,
so
damn those people and their lives. Yeah. So this, I guess, this will be the first episode of the new year. So welcome to 2026. Hello.
Yes. Hello, indeed. Hopefully, you've had lots of Warhammer goodies in your stockings.
Yes. Yeah. I hope everyone got good Warhammer gifts, and if not, then you need to be having a word with friends and family.
You need to rethink your life decisions a little bit, yeah.
yeah, 100%. Right, so your grimdark Would You Rather this week, Konnor, isn't if you're a painter, would you replace one of your fingers with a paintbrush?
No, it's a painting one just for you, Stephen, but it's nothing out of this world grim. I said, would you rather finish painting a 2,000-point army in a weekend, or 10 perfectly commissioned painted models, but you have to do it for free?
Oh, all right.
There we
go.
The army can be your choice. The 2,000 points could be your choice. So it could be any army you want. I want to be nice with this. It could be knights, but even that comes with its own issues. But yes, so you got 2,000
So
point
we've got to
army.
get it all done.
You have
all done in one weekend.
Yeah, I will say it's pre-built for you.
Lovely.
So you got 2,000 points of pure painting over a weekend, or you could do 10 fully commissioned paint jobs for units, but you do it for free.
Okay. And so can I paint them any style I want? The 2,000 points. Can I paint it any? Like I could do it a bit rough and ready. Tournament legal.
I wouldn't say blasted. It would have to be. I would say a purchase. I would say 10 perfect commissions. So I'd say your highest standard that you could do.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you could take as long as you want with them. It doesn't have to be a week. You could do them over a year.
Oh, see, that changes it a bit.
So there's no time frame to that. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say
10 commissions is quite. Yeah, okay. Doing 10 commissions is quite a lot, because even over a year, that's like one a month.
Yes,
and
it could just be it could just be a little character. It could be 5 intercessors. Although I reckon you could do 5 intercessors in a week. To be fair, well, but at your highest standard, though, could you?
So that changed it. The time span. I think I'd have to do. I think I'd have to pick that to do, because it'd be quite nice doing free commission for people. That's a nice thing to do, to get commissions out to whoever it was, for free. That's a nice gesture, but like it is a little bit. That's a lot to do in one weekend. That would be pretty stressful.
That does not have to be your highest. You could do full blasted on it.
Yeah.
You could go full. You could go 3. You don't even have to be at a great standard. It just has to be 3 basic couple. It would kill you on the inside to not make it look nice.
Yeah, it would a little bit. Yeah, it'd be a little bit.
It could look dog shit, but it would hurt you. It would hurt your soul.
Yeah, because then that's out there in the world. Then
and it knows that you made it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Forget that. I'll just do the 10 free ones. 100%.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I've got another one.
What would you do for that one? Yeah,
I can't paint to a perfect level, so I try and.
But maybe to the top of your ability.
I probably do the 10
really focusing in.
It'd probably get me to paint lots of different units and army styles and branch out into a different palette.
Yeah,
to make me become a better painter, I imagine. I'd probably do 10 as well. 2,000 points over a week. Matt would probably pick the 2,000 points over the weekend.
I don't think you would, because Jim, we had a very kind of similar question to this, like way back when. Would you rather put like a certain amount of hours into one model, or that same amount of hours into like loads of models? And he picked the one model because he said, I'd like to just spend all of his time. So I think as much as he likes cracking out the blaster style, he does like, and he's always doing like favors. He's always like doing like a little side commission for someone. As what did you describe him as? The commission version of a hooker? Is that...
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
You got one more?
I do. So this is more of a meta one, but I think it's quite good. It says, would you rather your army be top tier but boring, or mid tier but the most fun you've ever had playing a game? So like your army's either great, but it's very basic to play, or it's a bit shit to play. And I mean, like meta wise, it's quite low down there, but it's incredibly fun.
Yeah.
Because the idea is you're asking yourself, would you rather lose but have so much fun, or win but feel like you didn't have to use much effort, basically? It's like a 2-for-1 of that.
Yeah, so I think for me, where my position, like, it'd be the fun lower tier game, because it doesn't matter for me if I lose games, but for you, it might be a bit different because especially your 2026 goal.
Yeah, I feel like at a tournament setting, I would happily play the slightly boring army and get the wins in. But the whole idea of it is you play the game because you enjoy the game. If you don't enjoy it, if the game's boring, then why are you playing it? I don't know. It's at the moment like anyone who's running around with 2 units, like 3 blobs of Victrix Guard, you're the problem. Pointing at you, you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are.
You know who you are. You're the problem.
You know who you are. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there we go.
It's a lot quicker when it's the two of us, isn't it?
Yeah. Little part of me, Konnor, is disappointed that there's no sort of soul-shaking grimness about either of those.
I thought I'd tailor it towards you a bit more of the painting.
No, I'm up for the dark stuff. I like the darker the better for me. The darker the better.
I do have a bit of a painting one for you though, if you want one.
Go on, why not?
Why not? Would you rather paint with only contrast paints for the rest of your life, or the traditional layer paints?
Oh.
So just layer paints, or just contrast paints. You can't use either. You can't use both. You have to use one. Now, I reckon you could probably use layer paints as a base if you put enough layers on them.
Yeah, so if you can use your airbrush, layer paints work quite well through an airbrush because they're a bit thinner, so you can get the base coats down. But you can do the same with contrast paints.
It's the highlighting that's the issue. Can you highlight with contrast paints?
It's not really.
Not really. No, so you never have. But you can highlight with layer paints, can't you?
You can, but then when you're trying to get decent coverage with layer paints, it takes forever sometimes. That's a really painful choice.
There you go.
And the contrast paints, yeah. Well, but last week it was like, would you rather be flayed alive and kept forever, or would you rather be part of a hive wall?
I don't want a PG-18 rating on the podcast and Spotify. You see, well, better down this week.
Yeah, all right. Maybe next week we'll bounce back. We'll bounce back with some horrific. I think reluctantly I'd probably have to go with the layer paints because I use contrast paints a lot, like more than, not really for what they're intended, but the thing with contrast paints is they're really, really like bright and vibrant. So they're really good for like very specific jobs. But yeah, like you probably could highlight a model. Maybe that's a test that we should do.
Can you highlight a model with
entire model? Yeah, could I paint an entire model to a high level just with contrast paints?
Because it pulls, doesn't it? Contrast paints. I've used contrast paints.
Yeah.
You can't really.
Yeah.
It pulls. I don't know how you do a highlight with it.
Yeah. You'd have to let it dry out a bit. Like leave it on a dry palette and just let it dry.
I know you can add mediums and stuff to paints and stuff like that. I'm not sure of anything about that.
Yeah. You feel a bit negative towards contrast paints, don't you? They lied to you. You said.
I don't mind them. It's just it looks so great on the internet, and then when you try it, it looks a bit shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I went back into it, because I got a box of Space Marine Intercessors. I thought, all right, this might be a time for me to actually just whack out. Because I thought about going fist at one point. So I thought, let's get the yellow, right?
Did you?
Put them, yes. I said, let's put the yellow on the unit because everyone hates painting yellow. So I thought, if there's a yellow contrast paint that's going to make it look great, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I did, and it just seemed to pull a bit too much. They didn't look bad,
yeah,
but they didn't look as good. It was missing something, and I don't know what. It needs. You can't just contrast paint an army. You need to highlight it as well. That's the issue. It was given as all you have to do is contrast, and you're good to go. You're not. You're not really.
No.
You play with the arm and you think it looks good, but it's unfinished.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's it. It doesn't look finished. It's kind of like a good starting point, but then it needs a lot of
needs to work upon it.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so you were looking at Fist originally.
I was, yes. I had
interesting.
I got the Indomitus box. You know, the Necron. You know the I can't speak. You know the Necron box start on 9th edition. Start collecting box was the Necrons versus the Space Marines. That's when the Blade Guard got released. It got everything like that. Yeah. I got that box. I had a Necron player. I had a Necron mate, so I sent him my half of the box, and I kept the Space Marine half. And then after a while, I tried the Intercessor, didn't like it, so I sold the other sprues. I am regretting that decision now, because I would have had enough Blade Guard to not have to buy another Blade Guard set. But here we are. Same for the Blade Guard Ancient as well. I have to go get again. So yes, it's one of those. In hindsight, don't throw away any sprues. Keep everything. Don't sell anything.
Never sell anything ever. Just regardless of how bad your backlog is, regardless of how many models you've got, just keep it. Keep it all. Were they the same models the same Blade Guard that are out now?
Yes.
They refreshed them since then.
Yeah, they are the exact same.
It's the exact same models.
Same models. That's when the kit was released in 9th edition, that box set. Yes. Yeah. It hurts a little bit. And Stern Guard as well.
Yeah.
No, not Stern Guard. Sorry, Stern Guard came out this edition. Blade Guard Ancient was one of them as well. And there's a couple more. There's some other stuff in that box I would have liked, but there we go. We can't. There you go.
So I've got a big kind of gap around between. So I disappeared off around late 3rd edition, and came back for 10th edition. So can you imagine like missing all of that? There's so many things that you just miss out on. Just don't know when all the models released. What?
Yeah, I was very patchy. I came in at 7th edition Guard, and I played a bit of 7th edition Guard with the blast markers and stuff. And then I fizzled off, and then I came back for Tau 9th edition, 8th and 9th edition. Okay. And then got back into it fully with adult money, proper adult money and everything in 10th edition.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, which makes a huge difference. Is when you can really enjoy the hobby a bit more, and that's where I came properly into it. Understood the rule set. Yeah, I got into the end of that. End of 9th was horrible for me going back into it because there was so much to catch up on. I just decided to not play and learn everything about upcoming 10th, and then really go for it then.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a good shout, to be honest, doing like that. And that little part of me just thinks there's probably no point learning 10th now because 11th is not far away, right?
I disagree because between 9th and 10th is a full rules reset. So everything goes to indexes. Right. Every faction gets its codexes completely redone. This will be like an 8th to 9th. So it'll be like a 10.5. So the core rules will stay the same. So what they'll do is all the changes they've made through 10th edition, they'll bang that in a new rule book with a couple of other changes. All the keywords will stay the same. Like they'll keep the sustained hits, they'll keep the lethal hits, they'll keep the base, they'll keep how the basic game works will stay the same. They'll just think, all right, these are certain things we need to improve on. We'll put that in the rule book, and everybody's codex should carry on. So the idea is, unless you're a Space Marine player and get it day one like they always do, you will be stuck with your codex that will be able to play in 11th edition until your codex refreshes. So I can still play with my 10th edition codex.
Okay.
The 9th or 10th was the big reset, the great indexing they call it, where everybody gets all their factions get removed, and everybody got index cards from day one. So everyone had full index cards. All the rules were free as well. So you could access everybody's index cards in 10th edition at the start. You could see everybody's army. And then it slowly got locked behind a paywall, but we won't go into that. But yeah. So it only happens once every 2 to 3 editions.
Right. Okay. So actually, unit edition 11's more just going to be like 10.5.
Yes, that's what everybody's hoping for. It would be nobody thinks it's going to be a big reset. It would be stupid after all the work. This is the best the game's been in 10 years, competitively wise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So rules wise, it's very balanced.
GW do like to mix it up, and they do make random decisions at times.
Do. The biggest difference between 10th and 11th might be they might bring back a little bit more granularity on the war gear options. So depends on how they want to do that. They might do that. That's the one thing that they've been missing is for a bit more flavour.
So where you can pick for a character like what weapons, and then
Yeah,
that changes the points.
if you want to give him a pulse pistol, you pay the extra 10. You want to give him like a plasma pistol, extra 10 points or 5 points.
Yeah,
It's little bits so you could hit that 2,000. It might not be as extreme as it was. Like my crisis suits, instead of having to be able to pick what I wanted, got split up into 3 different data sheets that could only bring 2 of each of the weapons. So I don't know how they'll change. They might bring a little bit back. They might not. I don't know how they'll do it, but they might bring a little bit of flavour back and some little things like characters. I think they'll do it for characters. So if your character wants to bring a thingy, you can only charge extra 5 points. But if you just want to bring it bare, you can do. That's the sort of thing I reckon they'll do.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think spending an hour and a half building a list, or 2.5 hours building a list, and you have to go into every single guy and individually put on an extra weapon for 5 points is annoying, and I didn't like that aspect. Yeah. But I should be able to go into my like crisis commander and add on. Okay, you wanna get if you want the better guns, you can have the better guns, but you got to pay more points for it. I don't mind that.
Yeah,
your characters you should be able to go into more detail and customize your characters, but your base infantry and in stuff shouldn't need to do that. That's my view. Some people will disagree with me quite strongly.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I was quite surprised when I read the recent Sisters Codex, because that's the point when I learned that, oh right, you don't really have points to then buy, you know, an extra weapon or a more powerful weapon. It's all just kind of balanced. Like you can either have this option or that option. Yeah. Which in a way, like, it makes it simpler as like an entry point, because you just, you know, you can't necessarily build a character wrong, let's say, like, or you just pick a random combination. It's sort of going to work maybe better against one army or one situation or whatever. So maybe it's more sort of beginner friendly. But yeah, I was quite surprised that you couldn't. So back in the day, you know, you'd have like your Space Marine captain, and then, well, I'm going to give him this weapon and this power weapon, and he's going to be able to do this, and he's going to have this grenade, and da 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 da. And then it'd be like half your points. But that's your, you know, you've decided to do that with your character, and then you can kit bash it and all the rest. So, like you said, flavour just added a little bit more to the.
Yeah, they did the enhancements. They've done the enhancements, which go really nicely. I like that. But there's like little things that don't make sense about some of the enhancements. Like, I have a fusion blade on a commander, but it's a gun. People ask me this all the time. There's an enhancement called fusion blades, which means I get 2 really nice fusion blasters, but they're not fusion blades. It's missile. It's not in melee. Now, I would love that. I would love for that to be melee. I would love to have fusion blades. It's called a fusion blade. Why is it a missile weapon? Why? It makes sense. Makes no sense.
Why?
Makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. So you've kind of you've still got your Tower army, obviously, and we were talking last time for 11th. You've got pretty much all the units that you need, but depending on the 11th rules, you might tweak what units you use.
Yeah, there's obviously I said that I need a little bit more on the recruit side, and a little bit more on some of the bigger, more of the armored core. I need a couple of tanks, a Ghost Keel. But the whole core of the army's there. I just need to add on different wings now. I don't. My armored core is very, very small. I only have a Skyray. I only have 1 Hammerhead and 1 Skyray. I need to double that at least. If I want to go out like an armored focus list, which I've been wanting to do for a bit, but I need to get around to it. But there's like new units will come out every edition for a faction. You'll get at least one usually. Like the Twin Lance is coming out soon. There's be a massive one that I'm intrigued to look at. If that's the new style they're going, that could be the Twin Lance. It's the 2. I did send you the picture. It's the 2 crisis sort of commanders, so like best mates.
Okay. Oh yes, no, I have seen that. I have seen that.
One has like an energy shield that reflects damage back. Yeah, that has like energy shield. If that's the way they're going with the new crisis suits, I wouldn't be surprised to see a new crisis kit next edition. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because the style seems to be changing slightly, but in a good way.
Okay.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they started to. That's the precursor to see will people like them, because they look very different to the normal crisis suits now. So they might refresh that. If any, that could be a nice refresh. We'll see. I won't hold my hopes out. But there's more armies out there that need refreshes than Tau. So We'll wait and see.
Yeah, they seem to go rather with what needs it. They seem to go with what's like a more popular choice. Obviously, Space Marines
quite a popular army, so we are quite lucky on that one. We are quite a popular army, especially in the east side of the world.
Yeah, despite all the hate you get.
Yeah, one of the best-selling armies.
Yeah, so they might well start pushing the new style. One thing that kind of works with that, though, is you can see, like, you could probably still field your older units.
Yeah, unless they change the base
it's just
sizes.
like right. Well,
yeah,
you can
rebase
them, I suppose,
you can rebase, but it's a pain.
Yeah, that is a pain. But just almost like almost like a real army would have some older kit, and then you'd have like the newer kit being phased in. So it's not like they would just completely scrap the old stuff. Or
the cool way is I looked a bit back. The Tau did a really cool thing when they first came out. Is every edition they would have like a prototype weapon, and then an edition or two later, that prototype would become standard issue war gear.
Yeah, nice.
So eventually,
and that's exactly how it should work.
It's really cool at the end. And then all of a sudden, like, they had the stealth teams, and then they had the Ghost Kill was murmured about, and then all of a sudden the Ghost Kill came out. That's our standard battle line.
Yeah.
Also standard battle line. You know what I mean? It's so they are slowly advancing. Like the new stealth teams are very strange. Like that's magically come out of nowhere. I don't know why, but they've done the crew expansion now, so I don't think they'll touch the auxiliaries for a while. I hope not, anyways. So I think they'll go. I would like the Forge World Riptide variants to be brought back in plastic kits. That is what every Tau player would happily say they would like. Any Tau player who says otherwise is not a true Tau player.
And you're part of the problem.
Absolutely.
I love the Ghost Kill model.
It is a gorgeous model. I do love it.
I think that's probably it's probably my favorite. Probably my favorite Tau model after Farsight. It's really cool. You definitely need a couple of those bad boys. Yeah, nice. So potentially a couple of little tweaks for the Tau, and then you've got your sides kind of slowly coming in. So what's your kind of had? Yeah. What do you think will kind of play out with them in 11th? I can't imagine there being too many changes for Space Marines.
They don't know. I don't know what they're going to do yet. The whole army rule is probably going to be rewritten. Marines are way too strong. They might even get their own codex supplement at this point, which begs the question of what's going to be in the basic one. I don't know what I feel like they're edging towards where divergent Space Marine chapters, such as Blood Angels, that sort of thing, will not be able to use the core book detachments. Now they did it with Black Templars. Black Templars can use them, but they can't use the army rule. They don't have Oath of Moment. They have their own unique one, which is nice. It's something different for them. I feel like every codex supplemented book should have its own detachments, which it does. It shouldn't be able to then use 2 books worth of detachments. Blood Angels have 18 detachments to choose from. 18.
I mean, it sounds like what's normal. How many?
My Tau Codex when it came out, not including the ones that extra they added, 4. I had 4. I have 6 now, but I had 4. The Space Marine book when it came out had 8. Absolutely fine, no problem there. The Blood Angel book when it came out, I think had 3 to 4, and now had an extra 2 now. So that the Blood Angels one has about 5 or 6, I believe, plus all the extra ones they gave to Space Marines. So like all the flavored ones, like if you want to use Iron Hands, Imperial Fists, they added that on top. But the Blood Angels could use that if they wanted to as well. They don't have to. They don't. We use all of them and their own. But my Scythes can't use a Blood Angel one, really, because I have no Blood Angels units, and it makes the Blood Angels better.
Yeah.
I suppose I could do Scythes the Emperor and Sanguinary Guard in there, but I don't think I'd want to.
Yeah. But some players would do that for if their detachment was really powerful. Can you just put one Blood Angel army unit in there, and then
you should just use what's in your book, and that is it. That is what you should use. What is in your book, and that is it. You can ally knights, that's fine, no problem. You've got your book, use what's in the book, nothing else. Because otherwise it stops the flavour. Because every single Space Marine detachment nowadays is 90% of it is Gladius. You could be playing Dark Angels, it's Gladius. You could be playing Blood Angels, it could be Gladius. Space Wolves, it could be Gladius or Stormlats, which are both out the core books, which is an issue.
Yeah, it doesn't sit very well with the lore, does it?
Well, there's no uniqueness. It's like there's like loads of different Space Marine factions, but they're all playing the same detachments, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it sort of tramples on having, like, why, I suppose you like the look of the models, but why have a Space Wolf army if you're just going to use like play them as you would do Ultramarine army? Doesn't make sense, does it?
Yes. I feel like that's going to be a major issue they're going to sort out next edition. I think I've got a good feeling about it that they're going to do something about that.
How do GW like gauge how things are working, and with gaming, but also with like the paints and models and stuff? Like how do they take feedback? Because they're tweaking things all the time, aren't they?
The paints and models, I imagine it's just general sales, isn't it? If people don't like a model, they will not buy the model. You know what I mean? The rules side of it, they have a whole rules team and a list of exclusive high-level 40k players that will field test the armies, field test the rules, and then they will input back into Games Workshop. Then Games Workshop then see the results for GTs across the country, not across the world, not even just Britain, like America as well. And those results will then be fed back into the system, and they will decide this army is doing too well. We will change a few things. That's how they do it.
Balance it up.
Do you think they balance it up?
Yeah. Do they?
Yeah, I would say this edition's not been horrendous. I would say at the start of the edition, there was a couple of broken things with Eldar. They sorted it. They redid a couple of rules. It was good. Apart from the Victrix issue we've been having lately, again, it's bad, but it's not game-breaking bad. It's like, it needs to be patched. It's a very overpowered unit.
Right.
It's just, they released a brand new model that looks gorgeous, that everyone wants to buy. Even if the rules were poo, everyone would buy him, as a hobbyist even, because the unit looks cool, right? But they've given it rules that, they've given it a full strength, they've given it 4 wounds, which is very unheard of for Space Marine infantry, unless it's like elite Terminators. They've given it a Blood Surge move, so it can move after being shot. They've given it a reactive move, so if you move near it, it can move. It's too powerful. It's got too many abilities. And I feel like they made it good because good models sell better, and I get that.
Yeah.
But they've made it too good. And they had a chance to patch it, and they made the 6-man unit 30 points more expensive, but made the 3-man unit 10 points cheaper.
Hey?
Yes, everyone was like that. It makes no sense. It's caused a bit of an uproar. It should get fixed soon, I reckon. But that at the moment is, you've got to tech into killing Victrix. The whole meta right now is how to kill Victrix. Because very few
wild how
have a 4 wound.
It's crazy how fast it moves.
Yeah,
like a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't hearing. I hadn't heard anything about this, and now all of a sudden you're saying like, "Oh, it's really broken, and they need to fix it." It's crazy how quick.
Were doing very well. Admech were the issue before the last patch, but they were really bad for the most of the edition, and they just got buffed and buffed and buffed to the point where they got too buffed, and then it broke. Because people don't look at the faction straight away, and then all of a sudden it's had a load of buffs. Some people might look at it, and then it has a few more buffs, and a few more buffs, and then all the pros look at it and think we can do something with that, and then they go and win everything.
Yeah.
So now they just points,
and then it swings right the other way.
Yeah, they just had the abilities weren't the issue; it's the costing of the unit. So they've done a massive points increase on some of their units, and it's now looking like they're a very good but normal army when it comes to they can win events, but they won't dominate. They will it'll be based on your skill whether you win now, rather than just flood the board.
Yeah.
Which
is exactly right.
Yeah, Space Marines have never been known for being fantastic at top level all the time. They've always been able to get there because of how much they've got. But it's just Gladius and the new Ultramar Task Force. Everybody's running Victrix Guard, and you're just seeing so many Ultramarines flying around the board now at the moment. It's ridiculous, apparently.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough not to have to deal with any down south when I went to Tabletop Tactics, but I'm sure if I went to a GT right now, then it would be absolutely disgusting.
Interesting. And how? So they do updates pretty regularly, right?
They do a
Are they
3 month. They do a
tweak?
3 month update, I believe. They do a quarterly update. So we might get
Yeah.
one more update before 11th edition. However, if something is really, really, really bad, they will do an emergency hot fix data slate on it. They'll come out of nowhere with that one faction, and they will they'll do a points nerf like with the Orc Daka Daka Daka. They came out 3 weeks later after a month of events and nerfed it into the ground. So
Right.
we'll see if they do that with Victory Scarred. I don't think they will, but we'll see.
When is 11th due to come out?
If they're basing off normal thing, I think it is the summer of 2026. So June, July. It could be June, could be July, could be August. Who knows? Who knows? We'll know. We will know in March. I reckon March, April. I reckon
You
we'll know.
reckon?
I reckon
Okay.
they'll tell us then. They generally, because then they start leaking rules for it and everything like that.
Right.
But it's halfway through a new
with
UKTC season, so everyone's just going to have to adapt super quickly. It's going to be horrendous.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of like last minute painting going on, isn't there? I remember they teased Leviathan. I know it wasn't like a whole new game edition, but they teased Leviathan quite. It was quite soon before they dropped it. We were just seeing the picture with like the Terminator eye on one half, and then the Tyranid eye on the other half. So we'll probably see stuff like that a little bit before the release, won't we?
Yes, I'm excited for it because my army because I'm not a Space Marine player apart from the side of things, which I haven't really gone into my area on his Tau. I will not, unless it is the front of the box, which I very much doubt it is. I won't have to worry about my army changing because my points might change slightly, but my rules of my units will stay the same because my codex will still be valid until my new codex.
Yeah.
So I should be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, because it'd be a bit harsh if they started wiping codexes and, you lost your code for the app and all that stuff and had to go out and rebuy a codex.
Yes, but
often.
they'd have to index everything again, so they shouldn't do that. The guard player from 9th to 10th was angry because the guard with the last codex, they had 6 months with that codex, and then they went indexed.
Right.
Yes, they were not happy. I understand. I would not be happy either. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, cool. It'd be exciting to see your sides get on the table.
Yes, I'm excited. When I get 1,000 points, I will start playing a few 1,000-point games with them, and I will share plenty of photographs and stuff. It'll be great fun.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
I'm not far off. 4 units, and I reckon I'm at 1,000. I'm about 700 at the moment.
What? I know roughly what units. I think we mentioned it last week, but just what's your 1,000-point army units going to be?
It's probably going to be about 2 units of Blade Guard, a Pulsar, a Judicia, the Blade Guard Ancient, and maybe 10 Stern Guard. That I haven't worked out the points properly, so I might be slightly over there, but that's roughly around the 1,000 points I want to get to.
Okay.
I'm not far off. I just need 5 Stern Guard. That's all I need. 5 Stern Guard, 3 more Blade Guard, and then I'm ready. I think
he's ready.
I'm ready.
He's ready.
2 more squads, and I'm there.
What's going to be your general approach with that army, or you're not? Haven't worked it out yet.
I've never played melee really much as a Tau player, so it'd be nice to have a different actually enjoy the entirety of the game. I'm going first company task force, which has been known as one of the worst detachments in the game. However, I looked at it and it looks fantastically fun, and I feel like people aren't expecting it, and I might get away with it because people aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll play some testy games and see if it works well. And if it doesn't work well, I might pivot slightly to the Iron Hands one that was released instead, which is very similar to that, but everything is slightly better. So there's some of the same stratagems and enhancements, but the detachment rule is actually slightly better. And I suppose I could get the Iron Hands Chapter Master in there if I wanted to as well to add some spice or proxy him in or something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. So once you get that 1,000 points, you can start just testing it out
and see how it feels.
Yeah, but I think you've got a very good sort of balanced approach to things because you obviously like to play to win, but in the back of your mind, and you'll pick an army that you think this will work, and you've got strategy, tactics behind it, but you're not obsessed by winning, and actually you're quite happy to lose if you have fun. which I think is the right way about it.
Yeah, like I have no intention of winning loads of games with the Scythes at the start. They're my fun backup army to start with, and we'll see how it goes. And then obviously, it'd be nice to have a choice in my league to choose between Space Marines or Tau, depending on how the meta is at the moment and how I feel. Because you don't want to burn out on one faction. That's the one thing you don't want to do is burn out. If I just got sick of playing Tau, or I had an edition where Tau was like the rules were so complicated and rubbish, and the faction as a whole, I just didn't like the way it played, then I feel like I wouldn't want to play the game. But if Space Marines is looking all right, I can pivot over to them for the edition. I'm not saying that will ever happen, but it happened to AdMech at the beginning of the season. You know, so a lot of AdMech players just got really angry. A lot of Sisters players got angry as well because they got nerfed into the ground, and Orc players as well. So it's nice to pivot into another army if you need it.
Yeah. The thing that I like about the Scythes, or particularly your Scythes army versus your Tau army, is obviously your Tau army, you've been collecting that a long time, and you've had different painters working on it. You've had, so there's some little bits that maybe look a little bit different. Whereas with the Scythes, because they've all been done by Matt, and the next lot will be presumably done by Matt.
Yes,
they've got like a really keyed in, cohesive look.
Yes.
Like the basing's all identical. He's
it's
super standardized. It's going to just look like so good together. Like, and your Tau army does look great as well. But you see what I mean, right?
Yeah. Well, the plan is a big part of 2026 with Matt. I spoke with him in detail. Is about refreshing a lot of my older stuff from my other artists to get it all stand. The only now that your stuff does not need touching because he based it off your stuff, and your stuff is fantastically comparison to his. Even he said he was quite surprised how similar it was. I could put him and you're my Riptide next to that commander, and you could not tell it was different.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't tell. There's no difference whatsoever.
I'm really pleased to hear that.
The crew, not an issue because the crew are meant to look a bit different, so that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as Matt can match, I forgot the gen Charlie's paint scheme, I'll be very happy. Yeah, fantastic.
Hey, Charlie.
That was. Hello, Charlie. If you listen.
Yeah,
that'd be great. It's just little things like the broadsides need slightly touching up, but the piranhas are all right at the moment. And then realistically, it's just the updating the range so I can get rid of all the old stuff that is my old paint stock drop stuff, and then get it updated with all the new stuff. That's the plan. Like, I would say about 50 to 60% of the army that I use on a weekly basis is rogue painted. So it is getting there. Maybe 70% even. It's getting there. There's only a few units that I need to put in for that I painted or were painted in the past. So I'm getting there slowly.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that because I think we talked about doing that a long time ago, maybe when you started writing the blog, but that would be really nice to have it all kind of just touched up and like brought in line. Are you going to keep the same basing, or are you going to adjust the basing?
No, I like the basing. I like the urban basing. I really, really like it. So I'm hoping to go with that. If I was to change the basing, I'd have to send everything back. And I don't trust Royal Mail enough for that.
Yeah.
Especially the sizes. No, I'm really happy with the basing with it and everything. And I'm really happy with the crew basing and everything. So I think I'll keep this general style. Maybe add a little bit more flair to some of the bigger models, like some more like that. I might see if I can get some like the good thing, the hammerheads don't need basing. I will never put them on a flying base. I refuse to put them on a flying base. They will just stand. They can stand up on their own, absolutely fine, no problems. So they will do that.
Yeah, those flying bases are
horrendous.
Nightmare. So flimsy.
Just put some magnets on the bottom of their the little stands, and they're absolutely fine. I've had no issues.
Yeah. Nice.
I'd
be interested to see a pic. I'd be interested to see a picture of a couple of mine and Matt's stuff next to each other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just like a direct comparison. Just to see how well it ties in.
Yeah, well, I'm playing tonight, and I'm using the Riptides and your commander. I'll put you right next to each other, and I'll send you a picture.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
There we go.
Yeah, because we paint. Our style is very, very, very similar. But you always wonder, like, well, there might just be like some little things that you do differently or slightly.
You've got the grey perfect, and the yellow, and the yellowy orange is always the hardest bit that every artist seems to have a slightly different take on. You and Matt, however, seem to be on point with it, which is good.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it is good. Sweet. Nice. Let's look at. So we kind of hinted at our who would win last time, and and again this was down to you, Konnor.
There you go.
So we were talking about Gilliman versus Gazgor last week, and James mentioned that his sword can kill a demon, which I didn't know, which I should have thought about with Horus and stuff, but his sword can kill a demon, not just banish it. And your exact words were, someone needs to stick it in Angron at some point. So that made a very obvious matchup for this week, I thought. So let's pitch Gilliman against Angron. What are your thoughts between these two? Who would win?
Lore wise, there's two sides of this again. You got lore wise and you got on the tabletop. Lore wise, I would say Angron probably has the edge. He's a massive demon. Like, I understand there's a Primarch, but there's only so much a Primarch can do on foot. Like, he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's not the world's best fighter. The Lion is much better than him. But Angron, I reckon, might beat him. But you never know. He just gets if Gilliman gets a lucky strike on there, that's it.
Yeah,
it's game over, isn't it? So
yeah, it does seem like Angron's kind of been buffed by chaos powers, and he flies, and he's got some crazy weaponry, and then Gilliman's like on foot. He's got a great sword, but he's on foot. He's much smaller, and he's been kept alive by his armor, kind of. So if his armor takes a hit, he's going to take a hit. So whereas with Angron, you can't imagine anything slowing him down, really.
That sword could. If he hit with that sword could kill him down. Like you said, he's got the sword that could do it.
Yeah.
So
so like you say,
Angron has lost many fights in the past, but he's just never had to fight anyone who could physically kill him.
Was it Angron, who they fight in the Emperor's Gift book, where I think he's fighting on a planet against Space Wolves and a load of Imperial Guard, and then they just send, I think, pretty much the whole Grey Knights chapter to go and get him. And they eventually, like, I think most of them are killed, but they eventually get him. Yeah, he's taking on a lot there. Like, they've thrown a lot at him, and they only just, I think they crack his sword.
Yeah, they can. Like I said,
they only just managed to take him out. So
he has been, like, Mortarion as well has been bullied quite a bit as well. But he has been killed in the past, but he hasn't. Obviously, all he does every time he gets stopped, he just gets banished back into the warp, and he comes back out again. That you can't kill him.
Yeah.
Because he keeps on getting resurrected. Like, it would be nice. It would be nice to kill a demon Primarch, I reckon. It would be very nice.
Yeah.
It would be.
I think if you had to pick someone to get killed off, demon Primarch, who would it be?
The big four, obviously. That's the Mortarion, Angron, Magnus, and Fulgrim. Angron, I think it'd be nice to kill him off. I would like to. Yeah, he's just chaotic, isn't he? There's no master plan to him. He's just an angry git, isn't he? Because he's got loads of nails in his head. Mortarion is just full of pests. And Magnus has a bit of, Fulgrim. They all know how to. Can all scheme and put a bit of thing. Angron is just bonkers, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's mental compared to even the rest of them.
Yeah, but butcher's nails and all that. Absolutely great. Yeah. So what do you reckon? Like, final answer then? You reckon?
I reckon Angron the one-on-one may win. I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think maybe pre-Chaos Powers, I think probably put your money on Gilliman, wouldn't you? Because it can better calmer thinking.
Yeah.
Angron just like charges in and goes mental. But yeah, I think you probably have to put your money on Angron. Sweet. I think I'd have to kill off Mortarion because he just sort of annoys me. He doesn't really confront anyone. He just sort of sneaks around and just has his little plots, and they don't ever really seem to come to that much. But yeah, that's probably going to get me a load of hatred for saying that.
I'm sure you're fine.
Awesome. Well, cool. Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been good to have just a little one-on-one, little bit of Tau and Scythe chat there. That was a bit of 11th edition.
There'll be more of us next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, or obviously, if there's not, it all falls on the two best to carry the show. It's all good. So where can we find you, mate?
So you can find me at the Rogue Miniatures website at www.rogueminiatures.com. Am I right? Is it .co.uk? I always get it wrong.
Okay.
.co.uk, is it? Yeah, I don't know why you want to say .com. I don't know why I want to say .com.
Yeah.
And you can also find me on Instagram at Collins Cadre Command as well for my Tau and Scythe insights as well.
Nice. So yeah, we've kind of had a few little changes on the commission side. Haven't really talked about this too much, but so Rogue Miniatures is kind of moving. So we were, as you know, we had like lots of different painters. We kind of did lots of we did like quite a wide array of different levels of commissions. So we're moving away from that now. We're going to have like fewer higher end jobs, if that makes sense. So and the main motivation for that, Konnor, is so that I can get back behind the brush and do more painting.
Absolutely.
But it's just, I just figured that's definitely, we're playing to Rogue's strength. So we did what we tended to do was like the higher end one-off character commission. So we're going to focus more in on that. And I'll be doing a lot more of the commissions, which is great. Like I've already taken a couple on. It's really nice. Been really enjoying painting again. Working on Gilliman at the moment. It's been good fun. Apart from all that trim.
Thousands of trim. I hate the model. I hate the model. Let's do.
Yeah, I remember you
so
saying,
much better they can.
I kind of like it. Like it is a real faff to paint all that trim. But I think if I did this model again, I think I would spray it gold.
And do it. Are you doing it helmet on or helmet off?
And then both. So we've magnetized the helmet and the head, which is quite cool. You can swap it around. But yeah, I think if I do it again, I think I'd spray the whole thing gold and then just patch out the blue, because I think that's easier than picking out trim. But anyway, side note. So yeah, if you're after high-end box art style commission, please go and check out www.rogue-miniatures.co.uk, Konnor.
There we go. I'll get it one day. I'll get it one day.
Yeah. So Blasted Miniatures is also kind of a little bit, maybe some changes there, but essentially still cracking on with commissions in that kind of grimdark theme. So if you want to go and check that out, it's www.blastedminiatures.com. So the change there is we're basically going to have, so Blasted Miniatures is going to be like where you go and find your painter, if that makes sense. So it's going to be more of a sort of an intro to a particular grimdark painter who you can then stay with, if that makes sense. So
they do
that'll
awesome
be working
terrain.
A little bit differently. Say again.
They paint awesome terrain, just saying.
Yeah, that is very true. And we don't want any unpainted terrain, do we?
No, we don't want that. No, we don't want that at all.
If you're a fan of Battle Report channels and you haven't already found Daily Dice, go and check them out. They do regular reports, some really nice looking armies. And we're going to have Sam from Daily Dice on at some point in January, hopefully. Connor's going to do a visit there as well next year.
That's the plan, yes. To go on, hopefully get my ass kicked, I reckon, or win. I don't know.
You can take you're going to take the Tau army or the Scythes army? Tau.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how many points I have. If I have 2,000 points of Scythes, it might be quite nice to premiere them out.
Yeah, that's
he's never had a Tau player on the channel either, so that could be the first. Well, he's had Space Marines. It might be nice. No, he's never had a Tau battle report on the channel. I was chatting with him a couple of weeks ago about it.
He's a nice guy, isn't he?
He's a very lovely guy.
Yeah, I think maybe you should take the Tau then, because it'd just be something real different. Well, we'll see.
We will.
Well, that's it from us this week. We will catch you next time. See you later.
Bye.
Rogue transmission ending.
Ta-ra.